Imagine closing your eyes tonight exactly as you have done thousands of times before, expecting another ordinary night of rest, but never opening them again. It sounds frightening, yet this is a reality that happens far more often than most people ever realize. Every year, hundreds of thousands of adults over the age of 50 experience a heart attack or stroke while they are asleep. The most alarming part is that many of these tragedies are not caused by a rare illness or simple bad luck. In many cases, they begin with ordinary bedtime habits that seem completely harmless. Tonight, I want to walk you through the nighttime routines that silently place enormous pressure on your heart and brain while you sleep. More importantly, I'll show you practical changes you can begin making tonight that may significantly lower your risk. Everything you're about to hear is supported by medical evidence. This isn't meant to create fear or exaggerate danger. It is information every adult over 50 deserves to understand. I'm Dr. Rena, a urologist, and throughout my years of caring for older adults, I've seen how simple lifestyle choices can have a powerful effect on long-term cardiovascular health. If you're over 50 or someone you love is, these next few minutes could be some of the most valuable time you spend on your health. One fact surprises almost everyone I speak with. The hours when you're asleep are actually some of the most vulnerable hours for your cardiovascular system. According to findings from the American Heart Association, nearly half of fatal cardiovascular events among older adults happen between 10 o'clock at night and 6 o'clock in the morning. That isn't just a coincidence. During healthy sleep, your body is designed to enter a recovery state. Your blood pressure naturally falls. Your heartbeat slows to give your heart a chance to recover. Your nervous system shifts into repair mode, and your brain begins clearing away harmful waste products that build up throughout the day. This nightly recovery process is one of the reasons quality sleep is so important for healthy aging. But when certain evening habits interfere with these natural changes, your body loses much of that protection. Instead of becoming a time for healing, sleep can quietly become one of the riskiest periods for your heart and brain. During this video, you'll discover why heart attacks and strokes so often happen overnight, which bedtime habits create the greatest danger after age 50, and a simple nighttime routine that helps protect your cardiovascular system while you sleep. Everything I explain is based on established medical research and presented in a practical way that you can easily apply to your own life. Let's begin with the first habit that places unnecessary strain on the heart every single night: eating dinner too late and making that meal too heavy. Most people never think of this as a serious health concern. They simply believe they're having a normal evening meal. However, once you reach your 50s and beyond, both the timing and size of your dinner can make a remarkable difference in how hard your heart has to work while you're trying to rest. When you eat a large meal late in the evening, especially after 8 or 9 at night, several changes occur inside your body at the same time. Your digestive system suddenly requires a much greater blood supply. To meet that demand, your heart has to pump more forcefully, so your stomach and intestines receive enough oxygen and nutrients. Instead of allowing your blood pressure to gradually fall as bedtime approaches, it often stays elevated. Your metabolism also speeds up at a time when your body should be preparing to slow down for deep restorative sleep. Put simply, your heart is forced to continue working overtime during the very hours when it should finally be getting the rest it needs after supporting you throughout the entire day. One large study published in the European Heart Journal followed more than 100,000 adults over several years. The findings were both clear and concerning. Participants who regularly ate their evening meals late had a significantly greater chance of suffering nighttime heart attacks and strokes than those who finished dinner earlier in the evening. There are several reasons for this increased risk. Late-night digestion raises triglyceride levels in the bloodstream, increases inflammation within the arteries, and interferes with the normal nighttime drop in blood pressure that helps protect your cardiovascular system. There is another problem that many people overlook completely. Going to bed with a full stomach greatly increases the chance of acid reflux. Most people think reflux only causes heartburn or discomfort, but it can do much more than that. It may stimulate the vagus nerve, creating disturbances in heart rhythm that become especially dangerous in older adults whose cardiovascular systems are already more vulnerable. I still remember caring for a 68-year-old woman who had made a habit of eating large dinners late every evening for decades. She never believed it could affect her heart because she felt fine most nights. Then one evening while sleeping, she experienced a heart attack. Years of placing extra stress on her cardiovascular system night after night had gradually taken their toll, and eventually her heart could no longer compensate. Stories like hers remind us that harmful habits often do their damage quietly, without obvious warning signs until a serious event suddenly occurs. The encouraging news is that this is one of the easiest habits to change. Choosing to eat earlier in the evening and keeping dinner lighter allows your digestive system to finish its work before bedtime. As a result, your heart is finally able to relax the way nature intended. Blood pressure becomes more stable during sleep, inflammation decreases, and your risk of experiencing dangerous cardiovascular events overnight begins to fall. A simple adjustment to your evening routine can provide benefits almost immediately, making every night's sleep safer for both your heart and your brain. Now that we've discussed the first major nighttime danger, it's time to move on to another habit that many people underestimate. Even though it may have life-changing consequences, this next one involves something millions of older adults rely on every single day, yet far too many people still get it wrong. The second nighttime habit is one that many people dismiss as a small mistake, even though it can have devastating consequences. It involves skipping your medications or taking them at the wrong time. If you've been prescribed medicine for high blood pressure, high cholesterol, or to prevent blood clots, what I'm about to explain is extremely important. These medications are not only about controlling numbers during the day, they are often protecting you during the hours when your body is most vulnerable. Many people assume that taking their pills a little later, forgetting them once in a while, or changing the schedule on their own won't make much difference. Unfortunately, medical research tells a very different story. Your blood pressure naturally follows a daily rhythm. In a healthy body, it gradually falls during the night, giving your heart and blood vessels a chance to recover from the demands of the day. However, for many adults over the age of 50, that healthy drop never happens. In some people, blood pressure actually rises while they sleep. Doctors refer to this condition as nocturnal hypertension, and it is one of the most dangerous forms of high blood pressure because it often develops silently without causing any noticeable symptoms. Many people have no idea it is happening until a serious medical emergency occurs. Large clinical studies published in The Lancet have shown that taking blood pressure medication at the correct time, according to your physician's recommendation, can reduce the risk of nighttime heart attacks and strokes by nearly half. On the other hand, missing doses or taking medication inconsistently allows blood pressure to rise without warning during the night. These silent spikes place tremendous stress on the walls of your arteries. They can weaken fatty plaques that have developed over many years, causing them to rupture. Once that happens, dangerous blood clots may quickly form and travel to the heart or brain. The frightening reality is that these events often occur while a person is peacefully asleep, giving little or no opportunity for warning signs before permanent damage is done. Over the years, I've cared for patients who admitted they skipped their medication several nights each week because they simply forgot or believed it wasn't a serious issue. One gentleman experienced a massive stroke while sleeping after repeatedly missing his prescribed doses. Although he survived, the stroke left him with permanent paralysis that completely changed his independence and quality of life. His story is a powerful reminder that medication schedules are not small details. They are carefully designed to protect your body during its most vulnerable hours. Always follow the timing recommended by your healthcare provider, and never stop or adjust your medication without discussing it with them first. A few seconds spent taking your medicine correctly each evening may prevent a life-changing emergency before morning arrives. Now let's move to another nighttime danger that remains one of the most overlooked health conditions in adults over 50. Despite affecting millions of people around the world, I'm talking about undiagnosed or untreated sleep apnea. Many individuals think loud snoring is simply an annoyance or something their partner complains about. In reality, persistent snoring can sometimes be a warning sign that your body is struggling for oxygen throughout the entire night. Sleep apnea causes your breathing to repeatedly stop for short periods while you're asleep. These pauses may last 10 seconds, 20 seconds, or sometimes even 30 seconds before breathing begins again. Every time this happens, the amount of oxygen in your bloodstream drops. Your body immediately recognizes this as an emergency. Your brain sends powerful signals to wake your system just enough to restart breathing. Your heart rate suddenly increases. Your blood pressure surges upward, and stress hormones flood your circulation. Although these changes may only last a few moments each time, they can repeat dozens or even hundreds of times during a single night. Most people never remember these episodes because they never fully wake up. Yet, their heart and blood vessels experience repeated stress from sunset until sunrise. Research conducted by leading medical universities has consistently shown that untreated sleep apnea can triple the risk of suffering a heart attack during the night and increase the risk of stroke by as much as 4 times. Those are numbers that should never be ignored. There are several warning signs that deserve serious attention. Loud chronic snoring is one of the most common. Waking suddenly while gasping for air is another. Morning headaches. Overwhelming daytime fatigue despite spending enough hours in bed, and blood pressure that remains difficult to control despite medication can all point towards sleep apnea. These symptoms should never be accepted as a normal part of aging. One of my patients believed her snoring was simply an inconvenience for her family and nothing more. She had no idea that every night her oxygen levels were falling to dangerously low levels. Eventually, one night her oxygen dropped so severely that it triggered an unstable heart rhythm. Fortunately, emergency help arrived in time and she survived. After receiving proper testing and beginning treatment, her energy improved, her blood pressure became easier to manage, and her overall health changed dramatically. Her experience reminds us that identifying sleep apnea early can truly save lives. Sleeping on your side may reduce some symptoms in certain people, but it should never be viewed as a replacement for proper medical evaluation and treatment. If you or someone close to you snores loudly, frequently wakes up choking, or experiences constant daytime exhaustion, don't ignore those signs. Speaking with your healthcare provider and undergoing a sleep study could uncover a condition that has been quietly placing enormous strain on your heart for years. As serious as these nighttime habits are, the next one is even more surprising because countless older adults practice it intentionally, believing they are making a healthy decision. Unfortunately, this well-meaning habit may actually increase the risk of heart attacks and strokes while they sleep. That's where we'll continue next. Now, let's move to the fourth nighttime habit, one that countless adults over the age of 50 intentionally practice because they believe it helps them sleep better. Surprisingly, this well-meaning decision can quietly increase the risk of serious cardiovascular problems. I'm talking about going to bed dehydrated. As we grow older, our sense of thirst naturally becomes weaker. Many people also avoid drinking water in the evening because they don't want to wake up during the night to use the bathroom. On the surface, that seems like a practical solution, but inside the body, the consequences can be far more serious than most people realize. Even while you're asleep, your body continues losing fluids through normal breathing and perspiration. If you begin the night already dehydrated, your circulatory system immediately starts working under more difficult conditions. Water plays a critical role in keeping your blood flowing efficiently throughout your body. When you don't have enough fluids, your blood gradually becomes thicker and more concentrated. Thicker blood moves more slowly through the arteries and veins, making it much easier for dangerous clots to develop. Now, combine that with what naturally happens during sleep. Your heart rate slows, your blood pressure falls, and circulation becomes slightly slower as your body enters its normal recovery mode. If your blood is already unusually thick because of dehydration, the amount of oxygen-rich blood reaching your heart and brain can be reduced to dangerously low levels. This is one of the reasons dehydration has been linked to a significantly higher risk of ischemic strokes and nighttime heart attacks. A study published in the Journal of Cardiovascular Disease found that even moderate dehydration increased the likelihood of overnight cardiovascular events by more than 60%. That's an extraordinary increase caused by something many people consider completely harmless. The body simply cannot maintain healthy circulation if it doesn't have enough fluid to work with. I remember caring for a 70-year-old gentleman who proudly told me he never drank water after dinner because he wanted uninterrupted sleep. He believed he was protecting his rest. Unfortunately, one early morning, he suffered a stroke while asleep. Medical imaging later revealed a blood clot blocking one of the arteries supplying his brain. His blood was unusually concentrated, and dehydration had clearly contributed to the conditions that allowed that clot to form. Although dehydration wasn't the only factor involved, it played a significant role in what happened that night. Stories like his remind us that even simple habits deserve careful attention as we get older. The good news is that preventing this problem is remarkably simple. Drink 1 glass of water about 1 to 2 hours before bedtime instead of avoiding fluids completely. Use the bathroom immediately before getting into bed and keep a small glass or bottle of water beside you in case you wake up feeling thirsty during the night. You don't need to drink excessive amounts. Small, sensible hydration is usually enough to help maintain healthy circulation while allowing your heart and brain to receive the steady blood flow they depend on. This small adjustment may reduce unnecessary stress on your cardiovascular system every single night. Now, let's turn our attention to the fifth nighttime habit, one that very few people connect with heart attacks or strokes, even though it directly affects the way your cardiovascular system functions while you sleep. Your bedroom temperature may seem like nothing more than a matter of personal comfort, but medically speaking, it has a much greater impact than most people imagine. When your bedroom is too warm, your body struggles to get rid of excess heat. To cool itself, your blood vessels widen, your heart begins pumping faster, and you lose additional fluids through sweating. All of these changes increase the workload placed on your cardiovascular system. Your heart must continue working harder throughout the night instead of entering the relaxed recovery state it needs. Research from Harvard has shown that sleeping in rooms warmer than 24 degrees Celsius is associated with a significantly greater risk of nighttime cardiovascular events, particularly in older adults whose hearts are already under greater strain. However, sleeping in a room that is too cold can be equally dangerous. Low temperatures cause your blood vessels to narrow, increasing resistance inside your circulatory system. As a result, your heart must generate more force to push blood through those tightened vessels. For younger individuals with healthy, flexible arteries, the body may compensate without much difficulty. But after the age of 50, arteries naturally become stiffer. That extra workload can become the final trigger that leads to a heart attack or stroke during the night. Studies from Europe have repeatedly shown noticeable increases in overnight cardiovascular emergencies during periods of cold weather, especially among older adults with existing heart disease or high blood pressure. Medical experts generally recommend keeping your bedroom temperature between 18 and 22 degrees Celsius, or roughly 65 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Within this range, your heart rate tends to remain more stable, your blood pressure is better regulated, and your body can enter deeper, more restorative stages of sleep. Temperature control isn't simply about feeling comfortable under the blankets. It's another practical way of protecting your cardiovascular system while your body performs its most important repair work overnight. We've now covered 5 nighttime habits that silently increase the risk of heart attacks and strokes after the age of 50. The encouraging part is that every one of these habits can be changed. Next, I'm going to share a simple step-by-step nighttime routine that brings all of these lessons together into a practical plan you can begin using tonight to help protect both your heart and your brain while you sleep. Now that you understand the 5 nighttime habits that quietly increase cardiovascular risk, let me share something even more valuable. A simple evening routine that helps protect your heart and brain while you sleep. This isn't a complicated program or an expensive treatment plan. It's a practical sequence of small habits that work together to support your body's natural recovery process during the night. When followed consistently, these steps can significantly reduce unnecessary stress on your cardiovascular system and help your body perform the restorative work it was designed to do. Start your evening between 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock by eating a light, balanced dinner. Choose lean sources of protein such as fish or chicken, plenty of vegetables, and carbohydrates that are easy to digest. Try to avoid oversized portions, foods high in saturated fat, and meals loaded with salt. A lighter dinner allows your digestive system to finish its work well before bedtime, giving your heart the opportunity to slow down naturally instead of continuing to work hard throughout the night. Remember, your goal is to help your body prepare for recovery, not force it to continue processing a heavy meal while you sleep. Around 7 o'clock, drink a glass of water to support healthy circulation through the night. If your physician has prescribed medications that should be taken in the evening, take them exactly as instructed. Never guess the timing, never double a missed dose, and never change your schedule without speaking to your healthcare provider. These medications are often carefully timed to protect you during the hours when heart attacks and strokes are most likely to occur. Following your treatment plan consistently is one of the simplest and most effective ways to reduce your cardiovascular risk. As the evening continues, choose activities that help your body relax instead of stimulating it. Read a book, listen to calming music, enjoy a quiet conversation with family, or spend a few minutes practicing gentle breathing exercises. Try to avoid emotional arguments, stressful television programs, or spending long periods scrolling through bright digital screens. Emotional stress and excessive screen exposure activate your nervous system at the very time it should be slowing down, giving your mind an opportunity to unwind. Also gives your heart a chance to settle into a healthier rhythm before sleep. By around 9 o'clock, begin preparing your bedroom for a restful night. Adjust the room temperature so it remains comfortably cool, ideally within the recommended range of 18 to 22 degrees Celsius. Dim the lights throughout the room to encourage the natural release of melatonin, the hormone that helps regulate healthy sleep. Place a glass or bottle of water beside your bed in case you become thirsty during the night. These may seem like small details, but together they create an environment that supports healthy circulation, stable blood pressure, and deeper, more restorative sleep. Around 9:30, make one final trip to the bathroom before getting into bed. Empty your bladder completely, brush your teeth, and if your healthcare provider has instructed you to take any additional nighttime medication, do so at this time. Completing these simple tasks before lying down reduces unnecessary interruptions later in the night and allows your body to settle into uninterrupted rest more easily. When it's finally time to sleep, remember that your sleeping position also matters. If you snore loudly or suspect that you may have sleep apnea, try sleeping on your side instead of flat on your back. Using a pillow that properly supports your neck may also help keep your airway more open throughout the night. While this is not a replacement for medical evaluation or treatment, it can reduce airway obstruction in some individuals and improve overall sleep quality. If you wake during the night, avoid jumping out of bed quickly. Sit on the edge of the bed for a few moments before standing, allowing your blood pressure to adjust gradually. If you're thirsty, take a few small sips of water rather than ignoring your body's signals. Research examining circadian blood pressure patterns and sleep safety suggests that a consistent nighttime routine like this can reduce cardiovascular stress during sleep by more than 40%. Although no routine can completely eliminate risk, these simple habits work together to create conditions that allow your heart, blood vessels, and brain to recover more effectively each night. They require very little effort, yet they can produce meaningful long-term benefits when practiced consistently. Let's briefly review the 5 dangerous bedtime habits we've discussed. Eating heavy meals late in the evening forces your heart to work when it should be resting. Skipping medications or taking them inconsistently allows dangerous blood pressure spikes to develop overnight. Untreated sleep apnea repeatedly deprives your body of oxygen while placing enormous stress on your cardiovascular system. Going to bed dehydrated thickens the blood and increases the likelihood of clot formation. Finally, sleeping in a room that is either too hot or too cold places unnecessary strain on your heart while you should be recovering. Each of these habits carries its own risks, but together they create a combination that can dramatically increase the likelihood of a nighttime heart attack or stroke. The encouraging truth is that many of these risks are completely preventable. You don't need expensive equipment, complicated treatments, or extreme lifestyle changes. What truly makes the difference is understanding how your body works and consistently making healthier choices every evening. Small decisions repeated night after night often produce the greatest improvements in long-term health. If you're over 50, the habits you choose before bed tonight may influence how well your heart protects you while you sleep. The most important message I want you to remember is this. Many of the heart attacks and strokes that happen during sleep are not simply the result of aging or bad luck. In many cases, they develop because of small habits that are repeated every single night for years. The encouraging news is that those same habits can be changed. Every healthier decision you make before going to bed gives your heart and brain a better chance to recover while you sleep. You don't have to transform your entire lifestyle overnight. You simply need to begin with one good decision, then another, until those choices become your new routine. If you're over the age of 50, tonight is an opportunity to protect the body that has carried you through decades of life. Your heart has never stopped working for you, not while you were awake, not while you were asleep, and not for a single moment in between. It deserves the same care and attention that it has given you all these years. Don't wait until next week or until another health scare forces you to make changes. Start tonight, eat your dinner a little earlier, stay properly hydrated, take your medications exactly as prescribed. If you suspect sleep apnea, don't ignore the warning signs. Create a comfortable sleeping environment that allows your body to recover instead of struggle. These may sound like small adjustments, but together they can make a remarkable difference in protecting your cardiovascular health for years to come. Before we finish, I'd like to ask you to do 4 simple but very important things. First, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Every week, I share practical evidence based health information designed especially for adults over 50, explained in clear language that you can actually apply in everyday life. My goal is to help you make informed decisions that support healthier aging and improve your quality of life. Second, if you found today's information valuable, please take a moment to like this video. That simple action helps YouTube recommend this information to more people who may be unknowingly putting themselves at risk every single night. Something as small as clicking the like button could help another family receive information that encourages them to make life-saving changes before it's too late. Third, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Write, "I'm making this change tonight." Making that commitment publicly can be a powerful first step toward building healthier habits, and your words may encourage someone else who has been waiting for a reason to take better care of themselves. Sometimes one simple comment inspires another person to act, and that decision could have a lasting impact on their future. Finally, please share this video with someone you care about. Send it to your husband or wife, your parents, your brothers or sisters, your closest friends, or anyone over the age of 50. You may never know whose life could be changed simply because you decided to pass this information along.